Deze is hartstikke oud en Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
Hey, I'm Jeff Doss. How's everyone doing? What's up, Insiders? I hope everyone is joining us and having a great week. It's a big week in martial arts. You know, I call it like the big event, you know, like they do for the big game, you know. Like, when you can't say what the word is, it's so funny. I'm talking about the Super Bowl when people say, we're going to go watch the big game, like advertisements and stuff. When you're ready to watch the big game, they can't say it because they don't have the license to it. That's how I feel this week with our show sometimes. But we know what we're talking. We're talking about the Diamond Nationals, but whatever.
But it's not just that. We're coming off of a lot of big shit, man. We're coming off of the stuff is what I meant to say. We're coming off of the WKC Worlds. We're coming off of the biggest event so far this year, which is the Bristol Open.
Yep. VFT event, which was really like a separate event within that event, But I really think the VFT. So again, we're sponsored by Virtual Fight Tour. Big ups to them because I think the hype of the VFT helped Bristol Open's hype big time. What's up, Willie? Hope you're doing well, man. Will we see you this weekend at Diamonds, or are you going to be down at Micah's tournament? Big shout out just for one person, a supporter, listener, but someone who I've known for a long time. He's having his first tournament this weekend in Georgia. Micah Williams from MBS. That's Willie Marshall, mom. From MBS, has had a big school that always supports throughout the area and all over. So he's been working his butt off, man, for the past 2 years. He has texted me at least once a week asking for help on how to make this event right and the best he can. So he's prepared and ready. So big shout out to him in the Georgia area. So, all right, Alex, how's your week been, man?
Man, this is, my whole life, I've always had just a crazy, stressful, busy Diamonds week.
Yeah.
I'm not even doing anything this week. Here it is. Now Here we are. You know what I mean? It's still the same. But it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you in the Insider something I didn't tell you guys before. I picked up a new hobby. You ain't never gonna believe what this is. I'll give you 2 guesses because we won't take it too long. I'll give you 2 guesses.
First, I was thinking of the DJing thing, but I've been knowing about that. But no.
Oh no, that thing's going great.
Let's see. Did you start this new sport? Did you start my new favorite sport, tech ball?
What ball?
Dude, it's like soccer with a curved ping pong set in the middle of it. And there's 2 people or there's 1 person and they're kicking the ball and hitting it like a ping pong.
Oh yeah. I did see that. No.
That thing is awesome.
No, I don't have the hips for that anymore. My hips would absolutely fall off of my body. All right.
Well, then they have the same thing with volleyball and they have the same thing with ping pong, but so it's
I've seen the volleyball one. The volleyball one's dope, but they basically just do side swipes the whole time.
Yeah. Well, with soccer, the soccer one. Yeah.
So basically, no, nothing that physical.
Golf?
What?
Is it golf?
No. Okay. Not even close. So this was Lindsay's birthday was the end of September. Okay. And so she said, hey, for my birthday, I want this. And I'm like, all right, easy. But I'm still going to get you something. Right. But anytime anybody says, like, oh, no, I don't want anything. Trap. Do not fall into that crap. I don't care what they say. They say, listen, I don't have, You don't have 2 cents. Don't get me nothing. Figure it out. Steal something. Oh no, don't you dare go in empty-handed. So whatever, it was pretty cool. I got her this gift, but I still had to do this thing. She wanted to take dancing lessons.
Oh, awesome.
So we're doing it, right? So we're taking
what's
so funny, right? So we meet with this instructor, and she's very good, right? And so she's like, so what do you guys want dancing lessons for? What do you guys are you guys getting ready for something? And we're like, nope. she immediate like confusion and perplexity comes across her face. She's like, she wanted to go like, so why are you here? You know? So, but here's what I'll say. It was so cool though, because she's teaching us like ballroom dancing and salsa, and which I didn't realize that they kind of go hand in hand, which they very much do. Not very much, obviously, you could tell, not the dancing aficionado on this level. That's for sure. Right. So anyway, it's pretty cool. I'll give you one little tidbit. It has been awesome for our relationship, and I'll tell you why. Because, like, I mean, I'm sure she probably knows to a certain degree, but it's kind of like counseling at the same time. Because what happens is she's checked both of us. She's like, no, Lindsay, you're trying to lead. You can't do that. Right? It's his job. You have to let him lead. You have to let go. Right? And she basically was like, no, Alex, you have to have a strong like support right here. She has to feel that you're holding her up. I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is intense. Cool. So it was really cool. But then, you know, obviously, what do we do? Anytime you and I start something new, we always relate everything back to martial arts, right?
Yeah.
Anything we do, we look at it through that lens, right?
Yeah.
So as I'm watching her footwork, and I'm like, all right, so that's like a cat stance, right? Like everything. I'm not even kidding you. And I'm like, all right, so it's like an inverted cat stance almost. I'm watching her feet, and I'm like, all right, okay. All right, so back foot step. Okay, so drop the heel. And I'm just watching the hip. And she's like, what? You don't have to be so stiff. And I'm like, but I kind of do, you know?
That's funny, man.
It was really interesting. It's been cool. We've had 3 lessons so far. And so I asked her this one thing, right? Check this out. So I'm like, so are we any good? You know? She's like, no, you can tell that you guys are physically active. You're physical athletes. You guys are good. And I'm like, oh, all right, could we be good at, like, how could we be good at this? Right? She's like, well, I would not think to enter any competitions right now. And I'm like, competitions? What the heck? We haven't even finished the dance yet. What are you talking about, competitions? Right? She's like, I would give it a couple months. So then my head is like, well, if I'm going to compete in something, I better damn well win it. You
right. Of course. Yeah.
So that's what's been going on in my life, man.
That's cool, man. That's so cool. Yeah. I mean, it's been a big, busy week for me. Getting myself prepared for diamonds, getting other students online lessons prepared for diamonds. And then also I have 2 students going to Wales for WKU. So getting them all prepared. And they're doing a lot of divisions. One of my students, Taylor, is doing 9 divisions, and the other student's doing 6. So yeah, so it's going to be a busy week. One left, Taylor left last night, and Addison leaves tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting and trying to coordinate times to make sure we touch some things, because they still have a week until the tournament really starts. The tournament doesn't start till Tuesday. So getting out there, getting all set up, and trying to do some Zoom lessons with them before and then in between the prelims and then the finals, so working all that stuff out. And then, just preparing everything, making sure I don't forget stuff. That's the thing. Tomorrow I leave for diamonds. My flight's not till like 8:50 p.m., but I have to drive to North Carolina to fly out of there. So that's like 3-hour drive. And then making sure I have everything packed, and, I shipped my weapons so that way I didn't have to check a bag. But I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, and I got to make
So
sure.
can you do that? Like ship? Like what weapon did you ship?
Just nunchucks.
Oh,
Well, yeah, that's how I got them. I mean, they shipped them to me. That's how they.
Right, but yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's just been a big week. Oh, I didn't say something. My 20th high school reunion was Saturday. So I actually was planning on not going because it was my only week and weekend that I was like home and didn't have anything to do.
And didn't have a tournament?
Yeah, and I have a tournament, I have a belt test, I have something every weekend of training. Next weekend I have a big banquet and mastership ceremony and belt test and training, all kinds of crap. So it's like, you know what? Oh yeah, and Halloween. I don't know how we're gonna fit that in, but whatever. And then so I ended up our oldest had a soccer game, which was right around the area. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and slide in after the game and just see. And I sat for a while and was like, I don't know. Do I really want to go in? Like sitting in the parking lot, just thinking, do I really want to go in? And it was chill. It was only like 25, 30 of us. But it was cool because it was fun just to catch up and just see a few people that I haven't seen in a while, or people that I see around town, but I don't really get time to actually talk to them. It's more of, hey, what's going on? And that's it. Cause everybody's so busy, you know what I mean? So that was fun catching up on that, but it's always a different thing for me because I didn't really have those close friends, which I explained on the show before. Those close friends at high school, because I was almost never there. You know what I mean? So I was always gone. I had people that I was cool with and close to, but not like a best friend, you know what I mean, at school until later on, and they weren't in my class. So it was a little awkward, but it wasn't, a lot of times you put that pressure on yourself or you make things harder than they really are, and it really wasn't. So again, yes, Jeff Doss gets nervous about things. Okay. I know I said myself again, we were joking. Chris was talking about speaking to himself in third person. Yeah, I shouldn't do that either. Sorry.
So I never went to my 20-year high school reunion, right?
Yeah.
So
I was in Mexico for a tournament during my 10th.
So buddy of mine, Chris Lingas, talk about this dude, talking to him all the time. He's just one of those dudes where like I don't ever text him. Well, I do. I take that back. But I don't actually call him on the phone. Right. If we call each other, it's always a FaceTime. And I don't know why, it's just always been the case. So it feels like I see the guy every day when I haven't actually seen him in person since last May. Right? Yeah. It's just weird though. So anyway, I gotta tell you this little tidbit since you were talking about reunions. Yeah. So he goes to his 20-year high school reunion and meets his now wife. So I'm like, what? How the hell is that possible? How do you meet her? Like, what is this? Like, she can go to our high school. What the frick is she doing there? Right? She's not even close to as old as us. Bravo, by the way. How'd you find this? Yeah. How'd you find this woman? Right? So it was like all set up. Turns out there was like someone that worked with Chris that knew it was his high school reunion. So knew somebody else who was going to go. So they invited her to go with, knowing that this whole thing was going to get set up. Right? Wow. Like, that was so elaborate.
That's crazy.
All right. But hey, man, it worked out.
Dude, you got some crazy stories, man.
I got some crazy stories.
Yeah.
All right. So I got one for you. I don't even know if this is a page. I don't even know if this could be a Patreon story.
Can we get maybe on Patreon? Maybe is that a Patreon one?
I got one that can only be Patreon.
All right. Maybe. So again, guys, if you have not joined our Patreon page, check it out. Patreon.com/main network. We just put out our Chris and I did a Bristol Open reactions recap. It was a lot of fun. We got into a lot of things on who's the best fighter, men, female. After this weekend, what are we thinking? And also just a couple of fun things that we shout out. So we talked about WKC. Also, the Hall of Fame episodes 1 and 2. You guys need to check those out to figure out who's in the Martial Arts Internet Network Hall of Fame. It's a lot of fun and definitely tough. So Thank you guys for supporting us. Let's get into just a little bit of Bristol Open reactions. Of obviously, like I don't want to break down everything because we've done that. But and again, big shout out to Jesse and Virtual Fight Tour. Again, like I think they really hyped this event up and made it the one people wanted to go to fight those Americans, and to be like, we're Europe, we're the best, and you know what? They won both the fights, so great job to them.
They won both the fights, and you can't really say like they won all the championships because it was a European event. Like only people from Europe were there, with the exception of a few of like basically the American team.
15 and 16 Americans, yeah.
Right, which is great. Hey, bridging the gap, whether it's us there or them here.
Right.
They're a bit deeper in some areas. We're a bit deeper in other areas. I just think as many times as that bridge going across the Atlantic can happen is the best.
Yeah, Andrew, there were forms at Bristol. Rashad, I think, won 2 golds, and then you got 2 silvers, I believe.
I actually just read his recap. Apparently, he won 2 golds. It was supposed to be 3, but like the sport data thing messed it up, and so he took like bronze.
It said on there it got bronze. I think it was still 2 golds even with that.
Oh, okay, then maybe I was maybe I was counting that twice then.
Right.
All right.
The other big news for the week was that my team beat Alex's team in fantasy football.
Oh my gosh. Listen. Let's talk about it really quick because it's really comical. You know what? I'm just going to pull it up because and we'll make it a really quick snippet because a lot of people play fantasy football. So here we go.
We have fun in our Inside Scoop one. So you guys want to join next year, get with us early.
Get on the waiting list.
Yeah, get on the waiting list.
Or we can make a second league. We can make a second league next year.
And we can actually do we should probably do like a playoff one with people now since we're, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I
think there's a way to do that.
You're either on something or you're onto something.
All right, let's go.
Listen, we just gotta say this. Like, I don't understand, man. Like,
just not good, bro.
No, like my team's actually really good, but without
they got 60 points.
68 points.
68. Okay, I'll give you your extra.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. I'm looking at it, and I've got good players. Like I got Jalen Waddle, I got Aaron Jones, I got Justin Jefferson. Actually, I'm going to pause.
He's the only person on your team, actually.
Oh, my gosh.
He's great.
I got CeeDee Lamb, but here's the problem. I kept thinking, like, man, I'm getting a steal on this quarterback. Everybody keeps sleeping on Aaron Rodgers. Let me just grab this guy. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, I got great value. I can get him way late. Yeah, he won't be top 10, or he won't be like top 5, but he might be like 7 or 8 in the league. This is going to be great value. I can get him late. Oh my gosh, he should go undrafted. That was horrible. Ugh.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I was getting like 4 points, 6 points from him. And then it's just so bad. So bad. Everything's bad. Everything's bad.
All right. So big the big thing takeaway from Bristol, from what you heard, you weren't able to watch the thing, right? Because you were working, right?
Correct.
All right. As far as what you have heard, what are you
I went back and watched some clips though.
Okay. So what was the biggest takeaway for you for the women's side?
I was surprised. No. No, for the women's side I had that right. No, the women's side.
Didn't. You didn't have it right. No, you
didn't.
I
did.
You didn't. You said that they were going to dominate, and they did not. They actually shouldn't have even won. Europe shouldn't have even won that. They did a good job. It's close, but actually, Europe did not dominate that at all. Like, the women's actually had better setups, better matchups, and actually, I think did better in the long run of this than what I think people thought. When you looked at it on paper, it looked like they were going to get ran over besides, Katana. And then it got even more messed up when there's 7 girls on one side to 4.
Listen,
That
I don't
was wild to
understand
me,
why.
but I think it kind of
you know
helped the U.S. women.
Let's just talk about that because I don't understand why Elise Gorel, as great as she is, and she's a great fighter.
Yes.
She was in the building, and I don't know why. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just as simple as I don't want another division to mess with me winning the grand champion. And if that was it for her, I guess. But I think here's what I think. If WKC was not the same weekend and Morgan Plowden would have been there and Elise Gorel is on the team, completely changes everything.
Yes, but again, Alex,
those 2 additions,
the WKC being the same week it's not true, and it's not actually a factor because several people went to WKC and then went to Bristol, like Kevin, like Andres. They're like Morgan could have stayed for extra 2 days or 3 days, but again,
throwing a bone, man, throwing a bone.
I'm just saying.
Right?
But again, I understand we all have real lives to take care of, as well.
That's what I mean, though.
You know what I mean?
Like,
so
I couldn't have done 2 weeks.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think it was 2 weeks, but it ended, I think, Thursday or Wednesday, and then the Bristol, everyone started getting there, Friday it looked like.
So, right.
Yeah, Elise was there. I think she got a couple bronzes. So, but yeah, so.
But look at that, though. Look at what I was saying, though. If you put Elise Gorel on that team and Morgan Plowden.
Right. Well, I know.
I think.
Well, here's the deal: 7-4.
I actually
and
feel
they still almost won.
But I feel like it sways so much the other direction that I feel like the Americas sweep, and the reason why is I feel like what it's like, man. When you're on a team with somebody who is like, dude, they're just killers, right? You fight a little bit more relaxed. You're not so nervous, right? Every point is not so important to you.
Look at
right?
the men's.
When you're fighting, and you're like, holy crap, I have to be perfect, right? It's stressful sometimes, man. Right?
Well, you're saying all this, and you're actually explaining what happened in the men's team fight. That's exactly what happened in the men's team fight.
I know.
Because everyone, no matter what, Elijah's last, it don't matter. We're good. As long as I keep it not 10 points. But even then, he could still do that.
It doesn't matter.
That good.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Very detailed and very lengthy. So, but I feel like if you do put those 2 additions on there, I actually feel like the Americas probably sweep. And I don't.
So I don't like saying any of that because you speak in too many absolutes and it gets yourself in trouble, which is just like in the men's, you're like, we only see us losing 1 fight, we're gonna dominate all of them. Like, yeah, I don't see that because I just I knew that there were going to be a lot of matchup issues, and I really think that was the big issue was matchups.
It was all that's all it was. It definitely wasn't skill or talent.
No, but again, when you look at it, you still got to look at. It's not like we lost that team fight and then ended up winning all the other divisions and championships either. So Europe is on a high level. Now, would I love to see just as many Europeans come over to say a Diamonds or a Battle? I think Battle of Atlanta would be a great one, or even AKAs because it's the beginning of the year to see something like that.
We all would love to see that, and for there's many reasons, but I think the biggest reason is because we would like to see more great martial arts competition everywhere. Like if the best like point fighter in the world was in Australia, you would try to find a way to either get to Australia or get Australia here, right? Because they're the freaking best, right? There was just this one school that was just producing like a ton of great ones. You'd be like, we got to figure out a way, right? So anyway, I don't think, and this is probably a pod for another time, I don't think they're gonna come in waves until there's a legit WACO tournament in the States.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it could be happening soon. Who knows?
Chris and I talked about that on our show too.
They do.
And we said what event had the best shot? Really, AmeriKick right now, and also Quebec Open because of how involved they are. All the promoters are becoming in WACO Canada now. So those two events, I believe, have the best shot currently.
Yeah.
So
the WACO Canada one, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Although it's hard. I mean, when you put the battle and the US Open so close, it's hard to say no to that. You know what I mean?
Right. Go ahead and do both of those events. I mean,
if you can swing, and it's in the summertime.
Yeah.
It's easy.
And that's why, I mean, we act like we haven't seen a lot of Europeans at US Open. There have been, you know, I mean, Corelli came many years and several other teams, you know, so they
mainly did those ones. Like they did US Open for like a long time.
Right. So, for me, the biggest thing that I saw, just people that I want to shout out to, Brayon fought his butt off this weekend. I think he fought awesome. He fought awesome in the divisions, but he also fought great in the VFT. And here's the deal. He's doing now what you called him out on last year. He's kicking above people's shoulder now. He's getting back up. He's kicking above the head. He's really going back to, not saying going back to the old Brayon, but taking where he was and taking to the next level, you know, in this new body.
It was a significant strength that he had.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is a problem that people do sometimes is they go, all right, well, this is my strength. I'm really good at this. Let me develop this. And they put so much focus on this, trying to bring this up. And then when they do, look at what happens. And
Correct.
They go, wow, I got this one up. All right, my timing, my speed, my strength, you know, my distancing with my hands are great. Let me look at my kicks. Oh, crap. Look at that. Right?
So you and I have talked about this with me. As I'm working with Ross, which again, guys, if you haven't, which a lot of people are now, are working with Team Turbo to get your strength and conditioning flexible. It's not just strength and conditioning. It's like overall health and wellness for our sport, right? And and Ross is one of the best minds in our sport, period. Then you add in what he knows.
Absolutely.
So it's great. It's been a big, you know, just plus for me. But one of the things that we talked about was with all the new stuff and the muscle and the things that I'm tightening up in certain areas, that can also affect my flexibility and my height and different things and how I kick in a positive way, but also differently, changing it. So you have to figure that balance out and making sure you're not just focusing on this one thing. Well, I really like how I'm getting stronger here. Yes, but you still need to make sure that chamber can come up as high as it could, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, definitely see that. Big shout out to Brayon. And also, man, again, I feel like the person that we all, you know, doubted or thought had the least experience in the VFT.
Andres?
No.
The women's.
The women's. Peyton Fender killed it in her fight. And that side kick and just every time Keisha got close, that leg got up and he was like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Dude,
psychic the face.
She's like the one lone person helping me out on my fantasy sport karate team. My fantasy sport karate team is like abysmal. It's worse than my fantasy football team. But Peyton Fender's holding it up for me.
Holding up for you. That's awesome. So, yeah, so congrats to her. Just a good showing in that fight. Big shout out to Oscar Garcia for medaling in all of his divisions and then winning the 16-18 his division for that.
Word.
Lots of people to shout out, but it was just a great event. So great job, guys. If you want to hear more breakdown of all that, check out CTE. Since we're going to go on to this, we're going to talk a little bit about just some things that we think about with WKC from the week. But first, let's go into your competitor of the week because it flows off.
My competitor of the week is going to pretty much finish my recap of Bristol.
Right.
So my competitor of the week is the competitor of the week. It's Elijah Everill. All right. So listen, we need Elijah Everill's the best fighter in the world. Let's just say this. Okay. And let's go back a few years. We remember 2019.
Yeah,
okay?
Ty, definitely MVP of the week for America's side. Great job.
If we go back to 2019, Elijah Everill won 10 open weight grand championships. He won 10 of them. Holy crap, that was a lot. All right.
One was in the States as well. So.
One was in the States. It was the U.S. Open.
Yep.
But we looked at that and we went, but the one you won in the States, you didn't win your division. You lost to, oh my gosh, what was his name? Zayn, right? So it's like, but Zayn didn't even win it. So could you be caught? Then do the World Championships. Fast forward, because it couldn't have taken place in 2020. It had to take place in 2021. All right. So, and he spreads everybody.
Yeah.
Including Bailey Murphy. Yep. Right? Now listen. I heard this one time. I think everybody's probably
time out. Didn't he do the same thing in 19 though? I think he did. I think he spread everyone in 19 at the Wackos, and then same thing last year.
Yeah. So here's what happened. So I heard this, I think we've all heard this before, where somebody gets 100 on an exam and another guy gets 97. And he goes, yeah, man, how'd you do? He said, I got 97. How'd you do? Oh, I got 100. Oh, man, look at that. We're pretty close. I was only 3 away from you. And the guy who gets 100 goes, no. Oh, you got 97 because that's the best you could get. I got 100 because that's the best that was there. And that is what we're looking at right now with Elijah Everill. He's spreading everybody because the spread is a mercy rule. Right? What we're looking at right now with Elijah Everill, right, is the same thing that we looked at with Raymond Daniels, only Raymond Daniels had even more handcuffs. He was stuck in the 1 to 5 era for a very long time.
Correct.
Right? Imagine if we took the handcuffs off, if there was no spread. Right now he's beating guys 13-3.
Right. We would see what the WKC women's overall looked like. And the women's team looked like when Morgan beat someone 16-1 and 19-1.
That's what we would be looking at. That is what we would be looking at.
You know,
we'd be looking at that. All right. No question that if
now tell me, I don't think we would see people not be able to score him because people scoring him. I don't want to say that, but
no, because
he could.
Some of them are scoring.
Yeah, they're scoring. Yeah,
not a lot, not very much. Certainly not enough to matter. Right? So, but look at this. Let's go back to like 2000, 2001. Let's take RD, right? Let's take Raymond Daniels. And listen, it is, and I hate having to go to this too many times, but he's the standard. When you start talking about the greatest, he's the standard, right? If you take any kind of limitation as far as points in that time, if you say it's all right, the time limit's 2 limits, take as many points as you can get,
right?
100%, you would see 20-point matches.
Right.
100%.
Right. Now,
I believe we'd be seeing the same thing right now.
Now, again, I mean, we talked about the legends and the legacy of and the myths and all the urban legends that surrounded Nasty Anderson, right? Someone being untouched, for a year or 2 years, no one scored on him. Now, again, we're in the 1 to 3 era, a lot different, but a same thing. Imagine if it was more, imagine if there wasn't that. He's a different fighter, but those are the two. It's Raymond and it's Nasty. And
the only reason why I wouldn't say Nasty would be like that would be because
he never had to.
He never
had to get a bunch of points.
Because you didn't have to, because there was no I had to grab a lot of points. No. It was I could mess you up and make you not want to even score a point.
Exactly.
Right? Because I only had to get 3 and I knew I'd beat you. Yeah. Let's be honest. Listen, we all do this in the karate school all the time. All right. I've been in a lot of different karate schools, right? And in almost every single one, they're going 1st to 3 at some point in training, right? True. Because it's a quick, easy way where we can get a lot of rounds, we can get points, we can get reps, and we can get stuff, right? And there would be some times where someone will just go through the whole line, the whole group, right? Someone does that, right? Homie, I'm going to tell you this right now. I am busted the heck up right now because my old ass did that last night with a bunch of speed demons, right? I'm hurting,
oh, man.
Right? And I'll tell you, it would be hard. It's hard in real tournament to like never get scored on, never, right? In 1st to 3, right? But I don't know that I could go to where he would get 20 or more because the style was just totally different.
Oh, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So I believe.
But what I'm saying is just it's still, I think though, as far as not getting touched though, is that, you know what I mean? So,
sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So just, dude, the man's the best right now. I mean,
well, the thing that both Elijah and Raymond have in common, the one thing is that they make their opponent sit back, and instead of thinking about what they want to do and focusing on their game, they're so focused on this blitz that's going to come that they sit back and think about, oh crap, here it's going to come. All right. Okay, here it comes. Let's get ready for it. And then it's just over, man. You're going to sit back and just wait for them to do the best thing that they do. Right? This is over, man.
Yeah.
You know? Like I think about a guy who's got probably the biggest like FU talent, like balls to him. It's probably Tyreek, right? Tyreek could be like, I just really don't give a damn who you are. I'm going to go get you, right? And I was talking about him last night, and I really believe he may be one of the most talented guys in the whole world.
Right.
But right now, he ain't no Elijah Everill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Elijah
but you know what? That just gives motivation to those guys, man. I see him and Bailey and
nothing.
A lot of those guys, you know.
Nothing about me wants the Americans to succeed more, right?
Oh, I know.
My gosh.
I know.
But we got to give it up. We can't just be like, oh, well, you know, this guy was pretty good. Let's focus on him. No, we're going to focus on the man right now. Right. Elijah Everill's the man. Right. He's the best. And I don't think there's anything touching him. I hope for our guys, come on, guys, that someone's going to be able to figure out what the formula is, because I certainly don't know what the hell it is. Right?
Yeah.
But
I look at it like kind of like men's tennis right now, you know, where how we had the best, you know, and had a lot of those guys in like the 90s. And then we saw some people kind of coming up like Roddick. Maybe this could be the guy. And then, you know, it just didn't. And now we're at this point where I think we have some new guys coming up that could do something. So who knows, man? It's really interesting.
I'm going to be honest. I have never once thought about sport karate and tennis together.
I always do, man, because it's
I've made a lot of analogies.
It's head to head. It's head to head.
Tennis has never been one of them. Maybe
and the movement.
I'm not
athletic.
Sure. Huh? You know what's funny? I'll tell you. So I had listen, I told a lot of funny BJ stories over the years. All right. I had this one funny interaction, then we can move on with the show.
Yeah.
BJ Carnahan, and he goes, listen, I'm going to be the best fighter in the world. And I'm like, all right, BJ. Okay. And he goes, no. You know how I'm going to do it? And I'm like, well, now I want to know. You know?
Yeah. Now
I'm curious. And he goes, I'm going to rollerblade. And I'm like, it's not 1994, man. Right? And he goes, no, I'm telling you, my conditioning is going to be better than anybody because I'm going to be rollerblade. And I'm like, Okay. I'm like, well, what else, man? Because I'm be honest, that's not going to cut
maybe
it.
that would help more with the balance and the
cut it.
coordination, but yeah.
And he's like, tennis. I'm like, stop. What? And he goes,
Dude,
oh
tennis,
yeah, tennis,
man.
And
we might as well get into my competitor of the week then.
I couldn't believe it. Like, what are you talking about? Tennis? Get out of here.
We're talking tennis, so we might as well talk about my competitor of the week.
Let me hear your competitor of the week.
My competitor of the week was a college tennis player and became still, in my view, the best open martial arts forms competitor or most significant open martial arts forms competitor ever. And it's John Valera. So it's Diamonds Week. So we got to talk about
waiting for this competitor of the week. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So if you don't know tennis, he won the state championship.
I did not know
in Virginia in tennis. He was part of the state championship team. Went to play in college for a couple years, and then went on to start competing on the circuit again when he moved up to adult. To me, David Oakley and Carmichael Simon and probably Jimmy Pham were the most successful junior competitors as far as like the big kind of runs that they had. But I think in many ways the most still the dominance and the presence that John had as a junior, you just knew that this guy, like people were calling him a legend when he was as a junior. Okay. People were so like pumped up to see him move up to adults. And like, even though when he moved to adults, like he was only doing like 1 or 2 tournaments a year, like 93, 94. He didn't do that much. Okay. He was kind of in and out because he was playing tennis. And then 95, he came in and just said, all right, I'm back and I'm doing the circuit and I'm going, and he won that American division at first. And then he started winning the Korean division. And then at the end of 95, to me, just still one of my favorite grand championships ever was him and Carmichael versus each other in my chat. And Carmichael won that, but John's form, it's like he just went to a whole nother level. It's when he became the speed demon, right? He had just started and got on the doing the Mortal Kombat live show, and it's just like whatever training he started doing, it changed. And 96, 97, 98, 99.
It was over.
It was the John show, and there are some other significant people in there. But the thing is about John Valera is that he never had to flip. He never had to flip once. He used martial arts. When he was a younger kid, he was a great kicker, known for his clean technique and hitting the beats and the choreography and his flying side kick and jump outside crescent.
The triple kick.
And then you had the scissor kick and the triple kick. And then in 95, it was the 540 to the knee, which no one did, right? And he was the first one to do that. And imagine that now, right? Now we use that technique to get through a stupid rule in the creative division. You can't do a 540 to one leg, but you can do it to your knee, which is harder and more extreme. It's like, it's so there's just crazy things like that. The guy had one of the fastest combo forms ever, fastest hand techniques.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's just, just so many things. And then what the moves that he was the first one to do, not just in competition, but on stage, the double 720, the 722 kicks, to me is my favorite.
The double 720.
The first double leg, successful double leg on stage. He also did the single, like the Misty with a single leg. So lots of things.
No, hang on, time out. You just dated yourself. You called it the Misty.
That's what it is. It's a Misty.
You didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah.
So all right, listen up, kids. All right. At one point, we called the double leg. I'm gonna put myself there. We called the double leg a Misty flip.
Well, there's 2 different ones, remember, because there was one where you actually took off of both legs and went, and then there's the double leg 540, which is actually the same direction as the way you would do a 540 kick, and you let one go here and the other one kicks it over.
Right, which is the biggest cheat code to the creative division and nobody uses. I don't know why.
Some people did, but yeah. So anyways, man, this guy's won. He won 5. How many diamonds did he win? 1, 2, 3 forms, and then I think he won
6.
He won 96,
7.
97, and 99 in forms, and then in weapons he won 99 and 98.
So he's got 5.
Yeah. So
now let's talk about that for a moment, okay? Because when you look at that, you think about it and you think, all right, we talked about this before, like, well, that's all he could win. Listen, in 1998, he was such the dominator, right? He did not lose a grand championship.
No.
Okay?
That's not true. 998.
I think there was one point. No,
in 97, he didn't lose one.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Maybe that was it.
Yeah. In 98, actually, Mike Chat started off the year
he
winning.
Came back. That's right, because he retired in 97. When he came back for one in 98.
Because at the Compete Nationals, him and John tied 3 times. Freaking crazy to finish the whole night. You know, it was insane. It was awesome. That's what I love. And then at Charlie's, Mike Chat won, and that was when David did the first double leg spin hook double leg.
Yeah, Mike Chat came back wearing that bright red uniform. What in the world was that?
Yeah, and then after that was when John just took over again, right?
It was over. It was like, thanks, here, hold my coffee. All right.
Yeah.
So, but let's go back. It's 1998. We're at the end of the year, Diamonds Week. All right, we're at the Diamonds, and everybody at that time kind of looked at it like, if there was a big game Super Bowl, at that point, Diamonds was it.
Yeah, there were 2 at that time, and
that they would not
Diamonds
start.
or Super Grounds. Yeah,
they would not start the Korean division, aka the John Valera division, all right, without knowing where the heck is John Valera, all right, to the point where Larry Carnahan gets on the microphone and is like, John Valera, where are you? Your division is in ring 6. It's about to start. You're the #1 competitor in the world. Ring 6. And he's like, not going. I don't care. And he didn't go. And he was like, I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't go.
What are you talking about?
He didn't do his creative form that year at the Diamonds.
Yes, he did.
In 1990.
Yes, he did. You know what happened? He fell in the runoff.
Oh my gosh.
Right there.
My mind is exploding right now.
Yeah, he fell in the runoff. That's why he wasn't on this. That's why he wasn't on the stage. He fell in the runoff. on the 540 to the knee, or he didn't do it onto the knee at that time. He was doing it on the leg, and he slipped and like overextended his punch, and everyone was like, "Yeah."
Okay, my whole world is shattered at this point. Because
I'm glad we had this conversation, so I updated you on what happened.
Up until this point, from 1998 up until this exact moment, he didn't show up for this thing, because I was standing there like, hey, guy's not going to show. Guy's not doing it. Whatever. He's just making the big FU moment. I'm John Valera. I'll do whatever the hell I want. Apparently, I walked away too soon. And he came back.
He won that division.
And won. He did the division
and won. He lost the runoff. They used to do runoffs, and they'd take the top 3.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
My head is exploding right now. I don't know how to comprehend this.
Yeah, believe me, I hated the runoff because so as a junior, I won 94, 95, 96, 98, 99, right? 5 of the 6, my first 6 years that I did. And I got...
You won 6 divisions.
Not 6, well, 6 times, because you could only do 1 division at that time, right? Forms of weapons, right? So I won 5 years.
6 different times.
5 years. No, 5. 5 years out of the 6, the first 6 years I went, right?
Okay.
So my forms division. And I got, they would take only 3 to the grands. And let's see. So 3 of those times I got the 4th place spot, like in a row. And I was like, so it was just one of those like 90, 98, 99. I was 4th, missed it by that much. And then in 95, the same thing happened when I was younger. So, man, it was just one of those things. I hated that. So that was always a thing for me, getting on stage. And finally, in 2014, I did. And what's funny was I was the very last competitor of the whole diamonds.
All right. Well, this is a segue to continue to talk about diamonds. All right. I don't understand.
And again,
let's talk about.
We could talk a whole episode about John Blair, which actually we did. We did an episode on John Blair.
Trust me, I could do 2 more episodes
we could
on
do
John Blair.
Tons of them. And again, if people don't know, that was my private lesson. That was my competition coach. We come from the same style system association. I talked this summer about I did a lot of training and taught seminars at his instructor's school this summer, and we led seminars together. Him and I, Eddie Thomas. So lots of cool things, lots of stuff there. But awesome guy. We can get into him. We'll do a part 2, I guess, of this.
I mean, how about Team Valera and the legend that was with Rudy Rennie, James Stollison. Oh my gosh, help me out. The adult.
Who did you say? You said James. You said Rudy.
James, Rudy. Come on, Jeffopedia.
Yeah, no, you got me.
I feel bad. He's in my division.
Yeah, I know. He married the girl from Charlie too.
Accurate.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time right now. But see, you shouldn't have brought this up. We were already on the next path. All right, so can we do a couple of just quick reactions from WKC and then finish up our last 10, 15 minutes with diamonds? So it was cool to see Ireland and England really, do well, especially in the fights. They won the women's teams. Ireland won the women's teams. England won the men's teams. Ireland, O'Shaughnessy, sorry, won the men's overall fighting gram. Morgan Plowden, of course, won the women's fighting gram. Our guy, Cody Deesberg. I loved Cody Deesberg, man. He won the traditional and the open men's forms of weapons grant. So pretty awesome for him to come back and do that this year. He hadn't done forms in a while. He said, you know what, this year I'm going to do it. I'm going to win it. And he did. And then he won his first fight in the men's team. I was so ready for Canada to win. I was really wanting Canada to win, so that way it could be like he won everything that night. He did win his fight, but Canada didn't win the men's team. So he didn't get that medal for that one. But the women's, Amber Rutherford, great job. Congratulations. Someone needs to tell me her name. She's from Canada with the bow. I know if Kaylin's watching, she knows because I think she's on Team Revolution. So we'll need to get that name. I can't remember who it was. But great job to all those guys. To me, I think one of the biggest things that I thought was a letdown was the women's teams. I feel in that type of thing where it's matches, you got to get your most guaranteed win first, in my opinion. Because especially when there's only 3. When in 5, okay, maybe not. Maybe keep them at the end for anchor or that 3rd spot or that 4th spot. But for when there's only 1, when there's only you could win the whole thing by winning 2 fights, put Morgan Platt out. She's going to beat everybody, because here's what I'm saying. The person that Lynn lost to, she lost I think 7-4. No, I think it was more than that. I think it was 10-4 or something like that. 10-5.
That's rough.
Morgan would have won, and then the girl that Morgan ended up fighting, Morgan beat her 19-0. Lynn could have beaten her. So that's just my opinion. Now, again, those match if they put out Morgan first, they're probably still going to put out that same girl against her, right?
Yeah, the matchups would have been the same if that would have happened.
Probably so, unless Ireland. I don't remember if Ireland had the choice to put out first. I don't remember. If they did, then that's what you would do. But it is what it is. It's really hard. I'm not a big fan of the matchup. The way that matches,
You're not
like total
a fan
matches.
of the win.
I like the
you
team.
Like total points.
It's just because I don't like an idea where you could like not fight and win a medal. You know what I mean? Like it's like you could be on a team and not actually fight one round the whole time, and you could be a gold medalist. It's crazy to me.
So
I mean, it happens in other sports. You know, you could.
I like it.
I like the wins
time, because it's the truest. I believe it's the truest way. All right. Let's go back. Oh yes. Let's go back. There's many times where
is it because it's a team, so it's like actually everyone's contributing that way.
Okay, but let's be real.
I know what you're saying by saying that one person brought it back, but still, okay. But we could say this: still, everyone fought.
Let me ask you, what am I about to say?
I know you've seen people come back where it's been one person, right? One person come back and win it for everyone, right?
Okay.
Or lose it for someone.
Or let's say there's a 5-person, match and 4 people bomb it. One person can win it.
Yeah. But okay, they're still involved in it, and they did play a part in it somehow. In this situation, if my guys win 2, I'm just in the 3rd spot and not having to do anything. Okay. There you go, guys. So it's just not my favorite. And I think it's just more exciting the other way. Because what happens is if you look at
exciting.
It's way more exciting the other way because look at the Canadian and Irish one. Every matchup was 7-2 or like 10-2. So there are no close matchups in these, And so it's just kind of, if you look at this compared to the VFT fight, all those matchups were super close. Were super, so that's just my opinion on that part. Yeah, I would like to see it in Guatemala. Mexico City would be okay. I would probably expect it to be somewhere like Acapulco or Cancun if they put it in Mexico, though, just because.
Oh, Cancun is dangerous. Remember when they had the Cancun Open?
Huh?
Remember when they had the Cancun Open?
Yeah.
And people just skipped their divisions?
Yeah, that happens. That happens in Vegas too, man. That happens a lot of places. That's why Boyce said he would never do a Super Grands in Vegas.
All right, what's Ryan got? Ryan said this is our first year doing WKC, and it was a great experience. We didn't know what to expect. Aubrey brought home 3 golds and bronze in her weapons and forms divisions.
Awesome, great job.
I believe that
I believe it's in Orlando next year.
Format. I think the WKC format is the best, right?
Yeah, I really like it. I know that I'm interested to hear some feedback directly from my students of how they enjoy WKU, and the way that it's set up is very similar, like the order and the organization of it. I know the one thing that the WKU has a lot don't. It's like their opening ceremony is insane. They're doing the open ceremony like outside of a castle. Or like inside of a castle and outside, like it's like in and out. Just like cool things. Like I've seen videos of their stuff. They'll have flames going up and like it's a big deal.
Dope.
Yeah, like pyro and stuff. So I'm excited to see what that's like. But I think so WKC's overall grands I think is really cool, and the way it's set up is the best. They took a lot of things that Super Grands did. What's up, Coach?
Look at Coach.
So the format for that's very similar to Super Grands, where they had the Open Grands, the traditional Grands, which to me is the best, and I think that's the way that it should be. But if you do a men's and women's like they do it, I think NASCA should do it like that. I think that's how it should be. So,
Jeff, one time you and I are going to have an episode, and we're going to say, "All right, listen. This is what the division should be. Right. This is what everything should go down to where it should be. It should be. This is what the division should be called. Should be the age ranges if we call that detailed. All right. This is what I think you and I have talked a lot about what the creative and the non-creative should be.
Right. And one
time, maybe after the Diamonds, we'll have that discussion. But listen, there's obviously we can't with the show almost being over to be able to have that conversation. So that's not going to happen now, but stay tuned. It's going to happen.
Yep.
You know what I was interested in? Because they had the WKC Worlds in Ireland, but it wasn't where everybody thinks that it would have been.
Right.
It wasn't at the City West in Sagard.
It's supposed to be, but they had to change it. So
they had to change it. And I thought that was really interesting because the City West is occupied.
Yeah.
Right. So it is indefinitely to the point where the Irish Open is not going to happen.
Not going to happen in next year.
Which is like
sad.
Stop. You're the best tournament in the world. Everybody's just salivating at the point where you're just going to say registration open, right? The moment
just
you say
waiting. Yeah, they're ready to register.
Here's $10,000, right? The moment you say registration open, right? There's 10,000. It's probably 30, right? Couldn't be. After what I paid for my daughter to do the Diamonds? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
Are you kidding me? My 5-year-old to do 2 divisions. Oh,
that's what was crazy. That was like some old school Super Grands prices or U.S. Open prices.
I'm not going to go there at this exact moment, but anyway. But I was impressed that they still held the tournament, but that they held it in Killarney.
Yeah.
Now, I am no expert at all, but I like to figure out like what's around. I'm very interested in Ireland. I don't really know that there's a lot in Killarney except for the castle, right? Like the castle, the Killarney Castle, and like a main street. And I'm like, what the frick else is there? Right? And it's literally Killarney sounds like,
oh God,
a 1700s or maybe 1600s Lynchburg. Jeff, that's what it sounds like.
Sounds like where I live.
With the castle and cobblestone roads. So, but hey, they pulled it off, and that's why I'm like,
and actually, their open ceremony looked really cool, and I like how I did. I think they've had it there before because they had the just the balconies and everything. It was really cool. I like that.
If they could pull it off, I would hope the Irish Open could pull it off. However, the Irish Open it's a bigger dang deal because it's not just, all right, do we have enough room to hold the tournament? You need the infrastructure for the amount of rooms. And
it's just a lot.
That City West Hotel, that thing fills up like that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So it's whatever, man. What's Ryan saying? It's definitely not a party town, but very relaxing. Our kids like the castles and the old stuff. Yeah, man, it's super cool.
That sounds cool.
I was just talking to a couple the other day. They were customers of mine. It's so interesting. They were like, oh, yeah, have you ever been to Ireland? And I'm like, you know what? Interesting enough. I've been there a couple times. And, yeah, I'd go back anytime. If I had the chance, I'd go back anytime. Yeah. I love the people. Really do. That's the best thing about it. But anyway, we're going to get into another.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear some stories from Wales and just what my students and everyone say from there because it's going to be
that's where WKU is right now, right?
That's where WKU is. It starts their opening ceremonies are Monday. So
starts on Monday.
Yeah, starts on Monday.
Look at how jam-packed we are. Look at how concentrated we are.
Crazy.
It's
crazy.
High-level martial arts competition.
And then, in a couple of weeks, we have Pan Am's, which really is a big international event, especially with, people from Latin America and South America that come up. So it's going to be cool. Just a great way to end our year and get ready for what's to come,
Big time.
And again, this event this weekend, to me, is the most prestigious tournament in North America. And when people ask me, we talked last week about where are you going? Are you not going over there to Wales? No, I'm going to the most prestigious tournament in North America. That's just what I tell them. It's like, to me, it is. It's the Diamonds is that. and I'm excited for it. This is what I've been training for. Nervous. Got lots of. I just know it's going to be a jam-packed, busy freaking day for me Saturday, because most of the tournaments this year for the senior divisions have started at 8 a.m. They're not doing that. They're doing 12 p.m. for all adult divisions. So, and how crazy it is. So that's 4 divisions I'm doing. Then you got the senior grands, say if I'm in both of those. Then they make the 2 winners go against each other just to get on stage. So I could be looking at 7, and then possibly, who knows what they're going to do with traditional, because they've been doing runoffs this year for some traditional grands.
Let's just be straight.
So I could really do 7 divisions within 3 hours. Who knows? So
can we just call it how it is? You know what the rules are. You know what it's supposed to be, but you really have no clue what's going to happen, because like that, everything changes.
Right. Yeah.
Shouldn't
exactly.
be.
It's just crazy. So I mean, I'm ready. I'm focused on the diamond, focused on being on stage, man. And that's the main thing for me. If it gets to that point, and this is where it's kind of weird because what they're doing is kind of making it to where the senior divisions and the open go at the same time. So that way you have to choose, right? Which this is the reason why they switched it up to where it'd be at 8 a.m. and then later on. Right. If it goes to the point of, and this is just me, and it's not a hate on anyone, because if I win a senior diamond, that's great. But the focus for me is winning my Korean division and making it to the finals and doing what we've talked about for the past 2 or 3 years, putting Korean on the map and showing that we deserve to be up there and win those, and we can be competitive, with the Japanese forms. So that's all I have to say about that. I've been training, and it's tough what I'm going to have to pull off, but oh well.
Yo, insiders, find yourselves ringside watching Jeff Doss, because it's going to be an experience, right?
It would have to be a stage. I'm not going to do stuff.
Hey, ringside, whether it's division, elimination, stage, dude, find yourself where Jeff Doss is at. Here's what
there's going to be a lot of great competitors, man. It's just going to be fun.
Friday, I am unavailable. I am with my daughter.
Yeah.
Saturday, I'm in the element, my friend.
Yeah. That's
and
awesome.
There's no way I'm missing a Jeff Doss division. That's what I'm saying right now.
You crazy. But
crazy.
Dude, I'm excited just about who all is going to be there, man. I'm excited. I think Daryl's going to come. I think Daryl Lewis is going to be there. I know lots of other, different. It's just, yes, there's other terms in the year, but this is just like that one. This is like that Super Bowl.
Can we say it right now? Can we just say, like, listen, the tournaments that are like an absolute can't miss.
Yeah.
Irish Open, if it happens, right?
Yep.
It hasn't happened since 2020.
It's crazy.
So when it happens again, dude, that's like an Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Right. In between, like, what are we talking about? Right? Anyway. Right? So Irish Open, okay, but it's not happening. Okay. So then what do we have? AKA, because it's the first tournament of the year. Everybody thinks they got a shot. And everybody's there, right? And the diamonds.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Right? Oh my God, dude, you're getting the biggest love right now. Right?
That's my parents, though. I say, to me, it's the battle. To me, it's the battle.
You still think it's the battle?
Have you been to the battle? Like, you go to the battle recently, and the divisions are bigger than any tournament right now. There's that just excitement. So that's why I think it's one of those tournaments. To me, it's like AKA, Battle, US Open, Diamonds, those 4.
Right. If you had 4 to go to, why would you pick anything?
Why'd you miss?
Else?
Yeah. The other one that I think for excitement, and it hasn't happened in a long time, that's another one, is Quebec Open, because of the finals, and just it's something different. it's a whole nother experience, right? When you go to Quebec. For me, it's been a long time. It's been like 20 years since I've been in Quebec. So I hope to go next year, and I hope they're able to have it. So.
Dude, we'll get into another topic about
Yes.
another time. Here,
Yes.
look at we're dropping little nuggets on future shows.
I know.
Like how about New England Open that's going to happen sometime soon? Aren't you excited about that one?
I hope so. I'm hoping it'll work out, man. I'm really hoping. So we'll have to get everyone on board soon, guys. So we're going to be having to wrap up, but
yeah, find us at the Diamond Out. Hey, you guys want to come see us at the Diamonds?
Yes,
Jeff and Alex, come find your insiders. Come find us. I don't know. Should we have a hashtag? Y'all should post with us. I don't know. We'll figure it out in the moment.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Do it.
All right.
Insiders.
But come find us. We'll be around. We'll be shoulder to shoulder with each other. We'll actually be in the same room.
It's crazy. Yeah, this is the second time this year, so it's nuts.
I know.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Thank you, guys. See you next week. See you at the Diamonds this weekend.